is there anything on this model that you guys should have added to your models?
Yes.
The fire? Anybody had fire on theirs? I mean, I did, but like I knew it was supposed to go in there. About rain? Or the render pest? Okay. Are there anything on here that you guys didn't include? Okay, well, they didn't include it either, but is that an important part of the ecosystem?
Yeah.
They do play a role in that, so it would be good to put humans in there as well.
Or is it alligator or crocodiles?
Okay, because we talked about those, right?
Yep.
At one part of the migration, the wildebeest are affected by crocodiles, right? So that could be something that we could add in there as well. Okay, so what is our model currently missing if we are trying to answer the question, how do ecosystems work? So the model that they're talking about, I believe, is your conservation profile model. Okay, so what are some things we need to add into our conservation profiles now that we know a little bit more?
The different relationships, like the indirect.
Okay, so we can show a more complex way of showing how these relationships work. We should be able to do that and how they might affect each other. Okay, what else? That's probably the biggest thing right there, is showing those complex relationships in an ecosystem.
You could show like the droughts or like a fire if that area has one.
So if an area is prone to some of those things, who has a river? There's a river in there. Okay, so what's something that might happen to your ecosystem then that you could put some information in about that?
If there's a drought, it would be the river would shrink a lot.
Okay, or opposite of that would be
A flood.
a flood. So those are things that could specifically happen in your ecosystem. What else? What were the other ecosystems?
We had the lake.
A lake. Okay, so what can happen in your ecosystem?
Look how tough that is.
So tough. Could there be a difference in the water level in a lake as well? Okay. Where's Lake Michigan at?
Michigan.
Okay. What happens this time of year?
Freeze.
Okay, it starts to freeze, and so that can play a role in it. So that might be something you can include. The desert. Who had the desert?
Aiden. Vanessa.
Okay, so what are some things that could happen in your ecosystem specifically and not in the others? Well, it's a desert, so that's a given.
Right, don't get enough food, the predators.
Okay, not enough food for predators, possibly. Not enough water. It's a pretty common problem in the desert. However, sometimes you get flash flooding in deserts that you don't necessarily get in other places, because even just a little bit of rain can cause flash flooding because it's not used to having hardly any, right? And then, what's this one?
The Everglades.
The Everglades. What are some issues you could have in the Everglades that you wouldn't have in these other areas?
Invasive species.
Okay. Species. Flooding, I mean, the Everglades is a swamp area, so it's constantly has like water present in it, hopefully, right? Where are the Everglades?
Florida.
Okay, what happens frequently in Florida? Hurricanes. Okay, so you could put some information in there about disturbances like hurricanes. So those are some things to think about when we have time to work on those again. Okay? So, and then how does understanding ecosystems better help us to protect them? What are we gonna do now that we know a lot more about each of our individual ecosystems and the things that happen in an ecosystem? How can that help us to protect it better?
We can like repair.
Okay, prepare for things. So like those yearly things that happen, if it's a fire, okay, you could possibly prepare, like, what do they call them when they cut the lines in the ground so that it doesn't spread? I don't remember what those are called.
Oh, my dad just.
But something like that. Or if like flooding is a common thing, okay, you can maybe build up the bank so it doesn't leave the banks. So just knowing more in general will help us make better decisions about things. So what we are going to be exploring again is looking at the human impacts and interactions within an ecosystem. So brainstorm some ways that humans interact with the components of the Serengeti. So just amongst your table there, if you just want to use a piece of that notebook paper, so everybody in your table is having a discussion about this and coming up with ways in which we interact with the Serengeti. And I say we, I just mean humans, because obviously we are not interacting with the Serengeti. So, how do you interact with an ecosystem when you visit a park or other protected space? How do you interact with the land or water where you live? Do you know anyone who lives near a protected space? How do they interact with it? What other ways do people interact with protected spaces? So how can we, how do we interact with it? Next slide is going to be more about specifically the Serengeti. So answer these 4 questions.
How do you interact?
And we all live near protected spaces, don't we?
How do we interact with the ecosystem?
Nebraska Game Park, South Dakota Game Fishing Park. They all have protected areas that we interact with.
How do you interact with the
One
water?
of those that are water, just farm.
Yeah, kind of just like, just love it.
Yeah.
Well, that's gotta be no, but
How do you interact with the land or water where you live?
I swear.
They don't. They're just like,
I think the river is protected.
just say they wanna like protect
Or
the
it's
park.
the river.
That's me.
Might be ready.
yeah, but where,
But-
do we have anybody that lives there?
Vanessa, when the bell rings, you're supposed to go up to the office.
Didn't your phone used to be on your desk or like?
Yeah, but the long cord that I had for it that went from there over to my desk, it stopped working. And they haven't gotten me a new one, so I'm stuck with it being clear over there. It's not a pain at all.
You got
Okay.
there before it went off.
What?
You got there before it stopped ringing.
I know, but I had it up. It'll work. Alright, how do you interact with an ecosystem when you visit a park or other protected space?
You observe it.
Okay, so observing all the different things that are there, you've all probably, for the most part, been to Niobrara State Park?
No.
What? You guys didn't go to that
COVID.
park day?
No.
That was
That was during COVID?
That was our COVID year.
Take us.
You could
Yeah,
take
we'll
us
go.
tomorrow.
I can take you, I'm not taking you to nowhere.
We're going on a field trip.
You're not taking us to know?
I'm not taking you to nowhere.
Why not?
No, I'd rather take you guys than the freshmen. So you observe things, what else can you do in protected areas or state or national parks?
Litter.
Pick up your waste.
Don't do that. What'd you say, Tanner?
Pick up waste unrouted.
Pick up waste? So you're gonna follow Maya around because she's gonna litter and you're gonna pick up the waste after her?
Farm. Why not?
Farm?
Yeah.
You're gonna farm in a
Well, I don't farm.
state park?
It just says where you.
Yeah, I
Say.
don't litter, so I just like put down some things.
You observe wildlife,
Animals.
You feed them.
feed them.
Usually it says don't feed the animals.
Honestly, you like
So,
Okay. What about how do you interact with land or water where you live?
You
we
farm.
swim in it. We fish in
Farming,
it.
swimming,
Boating.
so recreation. Okay. What else?
Well, good work, guys.
Good work, guys.